As strange as it is to say, Bayonetta is coming to Smash Bros. As the ballot winner among the feasible suggestions from fans. The final presentation went over her extensively, showing each of her moves, special touches from her games, and even listing the enemies in the background of her new stage. What gives, Sakurai? Are you trying to make the old analysis machine obsolete by analyzing your own trailers? Well, because of that, we really don't have that much to look over in the Bayonetta reveal, and will instead focus on the things that Sakurai didn't mention, which isn't that much. But let's get to it. Bayonetta was a character that we always thought would make for a cool Smash edition, but near impossible because of her slightly more, let's say, mature themes compared to Nintendo's other family-friendly properties. But Sakurai and his team found a way to work around that. Many of her poses and animations can still be considered suggestive, but there's nothing especially overt about them. Certainly not when compared to the Bayonetta games themselves. And the most risque part of Bayonetta's default costume, the diamond holes that expose the back of her legs and a small part of her caboose, have been slightly darkened in Smash Bros. This gives it the appearance that she's wearing nylons underneath. Then there was the problem of her wicked weave attacks, which use her magical hair that also doubles as much of her clothing to summon demons. In Smash Bros., the hair that makes up her costume still disappears, but only from her legs and the extra frills. And her legs are still partially covered around the upper thigh to prevent too much exposure. At no point does the hair at her sides disappear, which is how Nintendo was able to preserve Smash's E10 ESRB rating. But that's not to say that she's been completely sanitized. Far from it. After all, that's part of what makes Bayonetta, Bayonetta. We already mentioned all of her poses, but there's also the fact that Bayonetta's original costume still displays quite a bit more skin than, say, Wario. But come on, who wouldn't want to see Wario dressed like that? In all, it's a series of changes that needed to happen in order to keep the game approachable by everyone. But Sakurai's team was able to stay true to the risque and playful aspect of Bayonetta's character, and that is evident from her combat style, which again, Sakurai already covered rather in depth. But one thing that was not mentioned during the presentation was Bayonetta's grab and standing hits. They appear to be simple slaps, but they're actually pulled from her punish attacks, specifically the slap punish, fittingly enough. It's just another sign of the care going into her character. And while Sakurai did point out the inspired and Fortitudo angels that fly around during Bayonetta's stage, the sky is also filled with the basic Affinity angels as well. And finally, we get a look at Kirby's Bayonetta transformation. Her guns do not immediately attach to Kirby's limbs, instead appearing when using the standard special. And it appears that Kirby really will be able to mimic all of Bayonetta's poses, which will be especially surreal. Oh, and somehow Kirby manages to outdo even Bayonetta's risque nature. He's completely naked! Where's your sense of modesty, Kirby? Come on! But all joking aside, that's all the scraps that Sakurai left us for this mini analysis. Bayonetta looks great as a character, and we can't wait to try her out in February. Of course, let us know if we missed anything in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at GameXplain to keep up with everything we do. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Smash Bros. And other things gaming.